Cuba, it's me! Welcome to episode 160 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now today, I did a video yesterday about talking about some of the times that wrestling got me into trouble, and so I'm going to do part 2. There's a couple other ones. I remember one time in elementary school, we were out on the field. I can't remember who was there, but we decided to do a bunch of wrestling, and so everyone was out there, and someone got a bloody nose. And the teacher got mad, and then we were not allowed to do any more wrestling after that at school. I remember another time in grade 6, me and my friend Matt Sambrook at the time, we snuck into the gym at lunchtime, and there was those big blue like high jump gymnastic mats. So we took one down out of the there was like a storage place for it, and we put it down. It was just me and him, no one to the wiser. So we were jumping off the stage. There was like a stage in the gym, and we were jumping off the stage and doing wrestling moves, and then we were like slamming each other on it. Well, the office was right next to the gym, and the principal, Mr. Frederick, came in. And that was the first time I ever got in trouble at Discovery Passage Elementary. Wrestling is, when you're a young kid, wrestling, I mean, don't try this at home, those kind of things. We didn't really know that back in the 80s. So there was a lot of things that happened where we found out the hard way that we weren't supposed to be doing that. But even in my home life, I remember I had this playroom, and I set up an old mattress and the couch in the corner so the couch could be like the top rope, and I had these wrestling dummies and I do moves on them, and I remember doing like a superplex, and my dad would be like, "Ah, what's all the banging?" and get so mad, and do that outside. And it's like, it's raining though, I can't bring my dummies outside. Or I'd watch a wrestling tape, and then I'd be so pumped up, so I'd try and convince my sister, "Come on, let's wrestle." And she didn't want to wrestle with me most of the time. So then I'd get her teddy bear, and I'd start wrestling her teddy bear, and then she'd get upset and ask me to stop. And I was just so pumped up from the wrestling because it was the greatest thing ever. So I'd continue assaulting her bear, and pretty soon my mom or my dad had to come and say, "Leave her bear alone, leave her alone," and I'd get in so much trouble. And that's the kind of things you deal with. But the best one was, it was in high school, so it was grade 10, 11, or 12. I can't remember which year. And I don't remember if me and Aaron planned this. My friend Aaron Kern, we loved wrestling. I can't remember if we planned this or if it was just out of nowhere. But we decided during break, like the 15-minute break between classes, somehow that we're gonna have a wrestling match right in the hallway and the lockers. And so we started punching each other, and I remember he whipped me into the lockers, and I took the bump right off the lockers and fell down, and then the crowd started gathering around, and people knew that we were friends, but then some of the stuff we did looked believable, and so people didn't know if we were fighting or not. And I remember a couple of the teachers coming out and breaking it up, and then we got sent to the office, and then so we were convincing the principal that it was just playing, we were just wrestling, we were just friends. And I remember he got the security camera footage, and he was watching it with us. He was showing it to us. He's like, "You guys are not playing. Look at this." He's like, "You look at him. You smash his head in." And we're like, "No. We just like doing this. We're wrestling fans." And of course, we still got in trouble. You can't be doing that stuff. But when we finally convinced them that we weren't fighting, we at least didn't get suspended. We were kind of on a warning, or we had to do something. Maybe the rest of the day in the office. I can't remember, but I remember we dodged a bullet. We did not get suspended, but it was very believable, and we got to see the security footage. And I remember Aaron, being the guy he was, asking if he could get a copy of the tape, because he wanted a copy of the security footage of the match, and we could somehow do something with it. So wrestling has got me into trouble numerous times. I remember sometimes my friends would come over, and then something would happen, and someone would get a move done to them wrong, and they'd go home and complain to their parents, and they'd say, "No more wrestling." So then we would stick to hockey and baseball, and then pretty soon we would wrestle again, and we would all be like, "No, it's okay, we won't tell our parents, we won't tell our parents." But then eventually someone would get hurt again, and then they didn't want to lie, and wrestling has gotten me into trouble so many times during the years. But it's so funny to look back on these memories now, and I remember getting in trouble for not just being too loud in the house, but something would get broken or bumped or something from wrestling, or I'd take a bump over the couch because it'd be a Royal Rumble, and then somehow the lamp would get knocked over and stuff. Just these kind of things happen all the time, and I'm sure it was no fun for the parents and whatnot. And tell me, is there some times when you, being a wrestling fan, or like when you're a wrestler now, or maybe when you were a kid, or something like that, where you've gotten in trouble because of wrestling? Because always on the Willie Show, remember, like, or you get a leg drop, comment, or you get a clothesline, subscribe, or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling, Cuba.